And Omar Berrada has been genuinely talking to the media. Let's hope everybody is okay today. Let's hope everybody is doing well. And Omar Berrada, our CEO, has been actually briefing the media. Of course, Manchester United were still recovering from a horrible loss against Liverpool, right? We're still recovering. The fans are still recovering. We got sacrificed by Liverpool, and there've been a lot of questions about Erik Ten Hag, a lot of questions on whether Erik Ten Hag will stay or not. There've been a lot of questions after that Liverpool game, after that Liverpool performance, and the CEO Omar Berrada has come out to actually talk to the media. He's been briefing the media. He's been actually talking to the media, and Omar Berrada, he just came out to say, okay, the contract, in terms of the contract of Erik Ten Hag, it was actually decided prior to him and Dan Ashworth coming to the club. So that contract extension for Erik Ten Hag was decided prior to them coming into the club. Because if you remember, Omar Berrada was on gardening leave by Manchester City for some time, right? Obviously, they officially announced him in January, but he officially started working in July. So he said this contract extension for Erik Ten Hag was done prior to me arriving, was done prior to me and Dan Ashworth arriving. So he said, no, this contract extension was done prior to us arriving, but he's happy with the decision. He's happy with the fundamental decision of extending Erik Ten Hag's contract. He wasn't part of that decision because it happened before he came. It happened before he started working, right? But he's saying he was happy with the decision. And then another relevant quote from Omar Berrada, right? He's actually stating that Erik Ten Hag has our full backing. Erik Ten Hag has our full backing. And these are quotes, these are briefings after the Liverpool game. So the board have actually clarified everything. Before, there'll be questions of will the manager stay, will the manager go? But Omar Berrada has come out and said Erik Ten Hag has our full backing and we're working very closely together, right? So he's actually come out and clarified all the noise about Erik Ten Hag getting sacked, all the noise about Erik Ten Hag getting fired. He's actually come out, talk to the media. Of course, we lost badly to Liverpool. We lost badly on Sunday, but it's actually good to see clarification, right? As fans, we just want to have some clarification. Are you gonna fire the manager? Are you gonna keep the manager? So the way the board are moving, the way the club is moving, you're giving us some type of clarification that, okay, we're backing this manager, we're backing Erik Ten Hag. And Omar Berrada, he's briefed the media right after the Liverpool game. He's saying, no, we're backing this guy. We're happy with him. In the transfer window, me and him had a great relationship. We actually did majority of our business, majority of our main targets, we got them. So they're coming out to say, okay, we're backing Erik Ten Hag. Obviously, as fans, we don't know the behind the scenes, right? We don't know the behind the scenes. Obviously, Erik Ten Hag, he probably gave them an argument. He probably gave them a reason for them to stick with him, right? Obviously, we don't know the behind the scenes. We're just speculating. But Omar Berrada has come out with his own mouth, briefing the media and said, no, we're backing Erik Ten Hag and we were working very closely together. And these are relevant quotes because there was a lot of uncertainties about Erik Ten Hag. And whether you're Erik Ten Hag in or Erik Ten Hag out, it's actually good to see the board coming out to clarify things, right? Before, there'll be a lot of smoke scream, right? They wouldn't come out and say, oh, we're backing the manager, oh, we're firing the manager. Obviously, after that result against Liverpool, a lot of fans want him out, right? And that's understandable. But we see that the board, they're backing him. They're backing him. He's obviously given them an argument for him to stay. Behind the scenes, he's obviously told them, oh, this and that, that and this, that's why you should keep me. And these guys, they're almost like at the top level, right? Omar Berrada, look at what he did at Manchester City. He wouldn't make a decision like this coming out, backing the manager if the manager hasn't actually gained his confidence, gained his support, gained his actual trust. So overall, even Dan Ashworth, he's come out to actually brief the media as well, right? Dan Ashworth, he was basically saying, I like the squad, I have to say, right? He likes the squad, he has to say, right? He's been doing this for 25 years. Yeah, there's no confirmation we will get success under Erik Ten Hag, but to see the board actually backing this man publicly, right? Now we have clarification as fans. We don't have to ask, will he be gone? Will he stay? Right now we don't have those questions anymore because we know that Omar Berrada has come out to actually back him publicly. This is not like other situations where I remember under Jose Mourinho, they just fired him, right? They didn't come, oh, we are backing you, this and that and this. But right now, you can see that the board, they've backed Erik Ten Hag in the transfer window, and now anytime there's speculation about him getting fired, they come out to the media and tell the media, oh, we're briefing you about this, we're briefing you about that. And Dan Ashworth, he had something interesting to actually say to the media as well. So he's been saying, I've probably done 25 windows now, right? So he's probably done 25 transfer windows, and he's shocked that we've actually signed our main targets. We've actually signed the main people we wanted to sign. De Ligt, Mazraoui, Zerski. So these were our main signings. So Dan Ashworth, he's shocked that, oh, wow, we've actually gotten our main people. We've actually gotten our main guys. And as Manchester United, we're moving in the right direction. Of course, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to lose against Liverpool. But the team we're building, the team we've built, yes, if they decide to fire Erik Ten Hag in the future, right now they've come out to say, oh, we're backing him. But if they decide to fire him, we're building an unbelievable team. People have to look at the bigger picture, right? We're building the foundation. The foundation is the team now. The foundation are the players now. The foundation is the board structure. So for the long run, we're building something significant. So even if we fire Erik Ten Hag, the next manager is going to find an unbelievable defense. The next manager is going to find a better team. And obviously, Dan Ashworth and Omar Berrada, they're going to go back. In January, we're going to be back. We're going to be back trying to sign new players, trying to build that foundation. So right now, I think they're focusing on a foundation rather than, okay, the manager, right now, it's about building that team foundation. Yes, we have a lot of doubts about Erik Ten Hag. But there's nothing we can do as fans if the board have actually come out to say, oh, we're backing him regardless. We're backing him regardless. So this is after the Liverpool game. He's come out after the Liverpool game and said, no, we're backing him. We had a strong transfer window together. We've actually got all the massive targets, right? Targets like De Ligt, targets like Lenny Yoro. And it's about the foundation. People, we have to actually look at the board based on the foundation. Of course, if this run continues, I expect them to make the massive decision. I expect them to make the massive managerial decision. But right now, they've said, hey, This is our guy. This is the guy we're going to back for a while now. So regardless of what happened at against Liverpool, we're sticking with this guy because we've spent so much money on this guy. So that's basically what Omar Berrada has come out to say, right? This is their guy. They're backing him. We might not be happy as fans with this situation, but there's nothing we can do, right? If they want to back Erik Ten Hag, there's actually nothing we can do. Let's hope. Let's just hope he actually transforms it. Let's just hope. Because obviously my viewpoint was, okay, everything is falling apart. Everything is falling apart under Erik Ten Hag. It's been 3 years and no progression. So what you do is save the season by getting maybe a better manager, right? There are a lot of managers that would fight to become the Manchester United manager. There are a lot of good managers that would fight to actually replace Erik Ten Hag. But there's nothing I can do if Omar Berrada really loves this guy, right? Omar Berrada really loves Erik Ten Hag, and behind the scenes, maybe we haven't seen something he's seen. Maybe he's seen something about Erik Ten Hag which makes him satisfied. Omar Berrada, we know he's worked with Pep Guardiola. He knows what it takes to be at the top. He knows what it takes to win trophy after trophy after trophy, right? At Manchester City, that's what they were doing. That's what he's experienced at Manchester City. So if Omar Berrada comes out and say, no, this is the guy, I think this is the right guy for Manchester United, we as fans have to just accept that, right? Because we can't do anything to change that situation. Behind the scenes, maybe they've seen something magical about Erik Ten Hag. Maybe they've seen something unbelievable that, oh, Erik Ten Hag will turn it around. So they've actually backed him publicly. They backed him in the transfer window. So right now, there shouldn't be any excuses. Of course, we know it takes time. It takes time to get some type of groove. It takes time to get some type of consistency. But my worry is losing 3-0 at home. Yes, you can take time to start winning unbelievably, but losing 3-0, right? Especially how we lost. We lost with an underwhelming performance. We lost with an underwhelming display. So overall, as fans, we're going to be worried when we see things like that. So I'm shocked that the board, Omar Berrada, they're all calm. They're all calm and collective. They came out back in the manager, and you can tell they're calm. But us as fans, we're panicking because when you see 3-0 at home, it's natural to start asking questions, right? It's natural to start asking questions. Okay, what's the real direction? Okay, what's the real sense of purpose, right? What's the purpose? Where are we going? Where's the progress? It's normal for fans to ask those questions. But obviously, Dan Ashworth and Omar Berrada, they've seen something behind the scenes. That's why they're publicly backing Erik Ten Hag. And it'll be interesting in a few weeks, in a few months, by November, this will be clarified, right? Because if the performances don't improve, I think they might pull the plug. But right now, they've come out to say, hey, this is our main man. Ten Hag, he's not going anywhere. That's what he's actually said. And Dan Ashworth, he's been briefing the media a lot. And also Omar Berrada, we don't want to just win one Premier League. We want to be consistent. That's another briefing he gave to the media. We want to be consistent. So they have a 5-year plan, right? A long-term plan. So this long-term plan, they want to not only, one Premier League and then we're satisfied. No, he's actually briefing the media and telling them we have a long-term plan. This is about winning consistently. This is about being like Manchester City, right? Season after season, you're competing. Season after season, you're winning. Let's get back to those Sir Alex Ferguson days. And that's what Omar Berrada has come out to actually confidently say that, okay, right now, it looks doom and gloom. It looks horrible. But behind the scenes, they're seeing something. They're seeing some positives. We can't see them, right? On the field, we can't see those positives. But behind the scenes, they've seen some positives to back Erik Ten Hag. So overall, he's our main CEO. He's the CEO. Obviously, decisions like this, they define you as a CEO. Keeping the manager or firing they define you, because people, they'll look at your success or failure based on things like this, based on trophies, based on success, based on, okay, what have Man United won under Omar Berrada in 5 years? That's what people will be asking. Okay, what have Manchester United won under Omar Berrada? Omar Berrada has been the CEO. Let's say in the next 5 years, we'll be looking back and saying, okay, Omar Berrada has been the CEO for 5 years. What have we won? That's what his success will be based on. So decisions like this, they're going to define you in the future, Omar Berrada. So if he genuinely thinks, okay, Erik Ten Hag, he's the right man for the job, hey, go ahead and back him. I want to see the best for Manchester United. I think every fan wants to see us lifting a trophy ahead of Manchester City, winning the Premier League ahead of Manchester City, winning another treble. Every fan wants to see that. We want to be celebrating at home against Liverpool. But on Sunday, it was a disaster, right? It was a disaster. So we understand, like, every fan is going to panic after such a disaster, after such a performance. We completely fell apart, and that falling apart, we got to change that, right? We're going into an international break. Of course, some of our players, they're already on international duty, right? You can see our Dutch players, they've already arrived for their international duty. Our British players as well, they're already there. So majority, also our new signing, Ogarte, he's already there with his national team. So a lot of our players have gone for international duty, but the players that have stayed, this is the time to actually work. This is the time to actually improve. This is the time to actually try to improve the strategy. Try to, okay, watch back the Liverpool game and then say, okay, where did we make a mistake? How can we improve? That's what we want to see from our manager, right? Accountability and improvement. Accountability and improvement. If you can go back, because we know that Omar Berrada is backing Erik Ten Hag, right? He's going to be there for our next game. So what I want from the manager is just to look back at the Liverpool game and ask yourself, okay, how can we improve? Where did we go wrong? Because that's how you improve, not only in football, but in life as well. If you make a mistake, you look back, okay, how did I make this mistake? How can we improve? How can I do this to actually change this result? How can I do this to actually improve this? It's all about that 1% improvement, that consistency. And we have people in this club that really care about performance, especially our owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He's always talking about, okay, this is performance. Not only in business, he always talks about, oh, sports performance, this, that. And Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he's a massive believer in the 1% growth formula, right? That 1% growth formula. If people have read that book, 1%, the 1% growth, it's a really good book, because it teaches you that 1% can genuinely change you. That 1%, every day, a 1% improvement in your life can genuinely change you. So, and that's what Sir Jim Ratcliffe actually believes. That's what he actually reads into. Those are the types of things he actually practices himself, not only for his business, but also for sports. Remember when he came into Manchester United, that massive interview he made. He was talking about that sports performance. He was talking about that catalyst to take us to the top, right? He's saying, okay, we'll have a catalyst like Eric Cantona. He's a massive fan of Eric Cantona. And I think in the next transfer window, we might just get a player like Eric Cantona. We might just go for a big name to be a catalyst, because he was talking about catalyst to win us trophies. Someone like Cantona, someone like Beckham. And he was really confident. So Jim Ratcliffe, I I, I encourage people to rewatch that interview to Jim Ratcliffe did. He was talking about being a catalyst, right? Taking the club to the next level, taking the club back to where we belong. And hearing that from the board, it's not that they're back in Ten Hag that I'm happy. I'm just happy that, oh, they're clarifying to the fans, okay, this is the situation. We want you to be patient, and we're back in this man. I'm okay with that, right? Because previously we'll be in doubt. We'll be asking questions. We'll be asking, will this man stay? Will this man go? We'll be in doubt. And right now they've come out to actually clarify everything. And overall, we're moving in the right direction. And you can see the players they're signing. And we signed a young, talented player from Mali, and I expect him to be part of the first team, right? He's not going for international duty, so he can actually improve. He can actually come into this team. I expect him to make some type of debut. I expect him. I expect him to play maybe Carabao Cup or something like that. But we genuinely see that okay, they have a strategy, they have a plan, and it's gonna take step by step, step by step. Obviously, the manager, I think the manager will be their last puzzle, right? First, you have to build this, you have to build the foundation. First, they built the foundation for their board. Now they've built a foundation for the team. The team were actually getting better players. We're seeing some better players. If you watch the Liverpool game, De Ligt was one of our best players, right? He was one of the only players we could actually rely on. De Ligt was one of the only players we could actually rely on. So you can see the players we brought in, they're gonna make some type of impact. They're gonna make some type of improvement to our team, to Manchester United. And this is not even over yet, right? January, if everything falls apart, they can still go in and replace these players, replace some of the players. So they actually had a plan. The players they didn't want at the club, they sold them. The players they actually wanted, they brought them in. And that's encouraging to see. What I didn't want, right? My viewpoint was, okay, change the manager now so that you can save the season. That was my viewpoint. That was my viewpoint because right now you can't keep going in the with the same manager if he's not performing, right? Yeah, the board. Yeah, I like how they're moving as well, bro. I love how they're moving as well because in previous years we would have so much unclarity, like we wouldn't know what's going on, right? The Glazers, they don't care. They won't even brief you about anything. They won't brief you about any. They won't even turn up to games, right? They weren't even going to games. So now we see Sir Jim at the games. We see Omar Berrada there. Before, the Glazers, they didn't really care whether we're winning, whether we're not winning. They won't say anything, and it's great to see the direction we're going in. But right now we're in a tough period. We're in a tough period. When you're growing, when you're actually trying to improve, when you're actually trying to progress, there'll be a period where you hit a stumbling block, right? Where you actually struggle, where you actually suffer. And that's part of life. That's actually part of everyday life. Hitting a block where you stumble, where you actually have to suffer for what you want. You have to actually suffer for what you really want. You have to grind. And that's part of success. Erik Ten Hag may not work out, but we can still replace him, right? If this decision doesn't work out for Omar Berrada, I have full confidence that they're gonna find a manager that can actually come in and improve us. I have full confidence in this new setup, in this new structure, right? Omar Berrada, obviously, he didn't choose Erik Ten Hag. So maybe behind the scenes, they're keeping Erik Ten Hag to actually scout a manager they really want. Maybe that's the situation. Maybe that's the situation. Maybe they're actually, okay, we'll back Erik Ten Hag until we find a man we really want. Maybe that's the situation, right? You never know. You never know. They might be back in Erik Ten Hag, but then searching, okay, what manager do we really want, right? Because right now they're building the team. First, you build the team. Maybe you remember what Manchester City did with Pep Guardiola. Before Pep Guardiola, they were bringing in some players to come in, to come in, to come in, to come in, and then they officially announced, "Hey, Pep is coming. Pep is coming." And then when he came, he actually revealed that no, I was working before I came. I was telling them the players I wanted before I came. So that might be the situation with Erik Ten Hag, right? They're actually talking to another manager and then bringing in players for another manager. We never know. Behind the scenes, we never know, right? But right now, we've seen that a lot of encouraging moves in the transfer window, a lot of encouraging moves. Long term, you might build a team that can actually compete. The defense, yes, we got smashed. We got destroyed 3-0. But bringing in Delit, it was a good decision. Bringing in Mazraoui, it was a good decision. Lenny Yoro, he's injured, but bringing him in, it was a good decision. So overall, you can see that they're trying to progress. They haven't come in just to fail. They're obviously working behind the scenes, trying to take us to the next level. All they want is success. And you can actually tell that. They're not actually joking about this success and they want to be the best. Because you saw how we actually got the transfer of Lenny Yoro. We actually beat Real Madrid to Lenny Yoro. These are people that are genuinely serious, right? Omar Berrada is genuinely serious. So Jim Ratcliffe is genuinely serious. You don't fight Real Madrid for a player like Lenny Yoro if you don't want to compete. Before the Glazers, they'll just give up. He doesn't want to come. Let's get our second option. He doesn't want to come. Let's get our third option. That's how the Glazers were moving. But now we're getting our main targets, which is actually a breath of fresh air. Seeing the main people you actually want. Seeing the main players you actually want. And obviously, we're not satisfied with the results. But if Omar Berrada truly believes that Erik Ten Hag is his guy, that Erik Ten Hag will turn it around, I'm going to be patient, right? I'm going to be patient, right? Because I back Omar Berrada. I back Dan Ashworth. I back Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Not necessarily Erik Ten Hag, right? I want to back Erik Ten Hag, but he has to show me with performances. But if the people I back, Omar Berrada, back Erik Ten Hag, I have to be patient. I have to be patient. If they've come out to say, oh, this is our guy. Even after the Liverpool loss, we're sticking with him. I have to be patient and see what they have genuinely saw in Erik Ten Hag. Maybe they've seen something. Maybe he's shown them something. And sometimes you never know behind the scenes. You never know what these men are doing to actually progress the team, to actually progress the club. We've seen a lot of progress in the transfer window, right? We've seen that progress. That progress is there. No doubt I can genuinely come here and say we've seen some massive progress transfer-wise. We've seen some massive progress board level-wise. So obviously with time, by January, we should see massive progress, whether they'll change the manager and then bring in someone in, or whether they'll... But I think this situation will be solved by January. We'll have pure and utter clarification. If Erik Ten Hag doesn't go on a consistent run, winning game after game after game, and then by January, because look at our fixtures before January. Man City, Arsenal, all these games. If Erik Ten Hag doesn't win, they might change their decision. They might change their stand-in with Erik Ten Hag. They might just say, okay, Erik, maybe it's time to move on. But right now, they've come out say, hey, he's our guy. Yeah, the Liverpool game, okay, we lost, but we're going to back him. So it's encouraging. We're moving in the right direction. And it's just, as fans, you want the results now, right? Every fan wants the results now. I want the results now. But if the board are actually coming out to say, oh, yeah, we see something, we're seeing something behind the scenes, we're doing something of credit, I have to be patient and say, okay, let's see, right? I don't know the behind the scenes. I don't know what you're doing with the manager. I don't know what you're doing with the players. I don't know what your strategy is moving forward. Really, they might be talking to another manager trying to replace him. They might be, but right now we're gonna see Erik Ten Hag in the next game. We're gonna see the same players in the next game. So we just have to be patient. If there's nothing we can do as fans, right? We just react to what the board do. We just react to what the decisions the board actually make. And right now they've made the decision to back Erik Ten Hag. And we have to accept that and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward as a club. I just don't want this club to become a bit like Arsenal, right? You see no real progress and then you still stick with the manager. You gotta take those next steps. You gotta take those next challenge for the league. After challenge for the league, it's about winning the league. You gotta take those next steps. You gotta take those next decisions, right? Real Madrid, if a manager challenges for the league but doesn't win it, he's gone. So I want us to take those next steps. The next step, okay, Erik Ten Hag can't challenge for the league. We need to get someone who can. Then the next step should be, okay, this man can't win the league. We need to get someone who can. So it's about that steady progress. That steady progress. And with that steady progress, you're still improving this team, right? The next manager, he's going to find a better team. If Erik Ten Hag fails, the next manager will find a better team. Look at the team we're building. Look at the team we've actually constructed. We're constructing a good team. Of course, our attack, it still needs a bit of work. But right now, the defense, we've improved. Regardless of whether we lost 3-0 against Liverpool, we've improved the defense, right? Lenny Euro, massive improvement. Delete, massive improvement. So the board, you can see that they're not just they're not just talking. They're doing what they came in to do, right? They're doing what they're saying, right? They're doing what they actually promised, because we're going for players that are top class. We're going for players that are unbelievable. Delete, I really rate him. Lenny Euro, he's a massive potential. And all the players we've signed this summer window, I'm happy overall. There's no player we've signed and I'm saying, that guy's he's not a good signing. Why did we get him? All the players we've signed, I'm smiling about them. So this is genuinely their first window. People have to remember that. This is their first window, and look at the players they've actually brought in. Look at the players Omar Berrada has actually brought in. First window. Imagine his second window. Right? The players on the bench will be unbelievable. I want us to look like Manchester City. First window, we're moving like this. Second window, we might just get an unbelievable attack. And then the players that are starting now, our attacking players that are starting now, they might be bench players in our second window. Because I genuinely think, okay, our next window, maybe January or the next summer window, we're going to go in for the attack. We're going to go hard to improve that attack, right? Because right now, we were going hard to improve the defense. But the next window, just imagine if we go hard in the attack, in the attacking areas, in the midfield. The players that started against Liverpool next season, they might be bench players. We might have a completely improved team. And that's the strategy from Omar Berrada. Be like Manchester City. No one is irreplaceable. No one. And I love to hear that, right? No one is unreplaceable. You might see the players that are starting now on the bench next season because we have better players. We've signed better players in attack. And overall, they're moving in the right direction. But we have to be patient as fans. They've backed Erik Ten Hag publicly. We just have to wait. And overall, that's just the briefing from Omar Berrada. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Enjoy the rest of your days.